Hello! Today's lesson, you're going to love this. I sat and I thought about it. What can I show you next? I've shown you how to make curtains. I've shown you how to do the valances and the goblets and pinch pleats. I've showed you all that. And I thought, well, what haven't I shown you? I haven't shown you the formula how to work out how to make the curtains from scratch. Before we make the curtains, you need to know the formula, how much fabric you need, and the finished drop and so on. So now I'm going to tell you how to do this, right? So here we're going to start off first with our window. So here's our window, right? And there's our board up the top with your track on it. Right? And there's your space at either side, and there's your skirting board down there, and there's your wall space. And you will measure from the inside. Once you've got this board up, you will measure from your track downwards to wherever it is you want. So here is down to 19 inches, down 20 inches down to the skirting board. Right, so there's many ways of doing it. You either measure from underneath the track, so long as you've got a valance on top of it, you measure underneath the track and you've got the length of your curtains. But if you haven't got the track, if you haven't got this wood on top, then you measure from the top of your track and come down, and then come down to wherever it is you want. So that's how. And some people now, when they measure the window, they only measure from here to here, from side to side, and say, oh, put the curtain on, which you shouldn't. You should go at least 6 inches either side if you've got the space for a small window. If your window's bigger, right, like a patio door, then you say recommend 14 inches. And the reason for that is that when you've made up your curtain, that when you sweep your curtain aside, right, the curtain now will go, the curtain will finish at the side just there. There. So some people will put the curtain, starting the curtain there, and then when they finish, the curtain is coming here, and you're taking away too much of your light. So that's the first thing you've got to remember to do. So now that we've decided what we're going to do, whether we're going to make the curtain to the sill or we're going to go right down to the floor, I advise you to make it all the way down to the floor because it's much more attractive. They look glorious. But if not, save fabric, save money, put it here. Especially if some people, when they've got radiators underneath the windows, they don't want to put curtains in front of it. But quite honestly, it doesn't take away your heat. So anyway, so that's what we're going to do. So what we're going to do now, we're going to work on a size. Now, let's say, off the top of my head, your window, the width is 85 inches. And the drop, we're going to do it at 90 inches. Right? Now, the first thing we're going to do is here. We're going to say, you need your calculator, 85 inches times by 2.5 equal. And the reason why we're doing 2.5 is the amount of quantity of fabric that's needed to go in this window, and the space and the height, right? You're going to have it 2 times this window and a half. So 2 of this window and a half time. and that's how much fabric we want to put in. So we're going to say 85 times by 2.5 equals, it equals 212.5. Now we're going to divide that by the width of your fabric. Fabric normally is 54 inches, so we're going to stick with 54 inches for now. So you can get fabric at 59, which is very odd, and you can get fabric at 110 inches wide, which is very good. So at the moment we're going to stick to 54 inches. So we're going to divide it by 54 inches, and that will give you up to 3.9. So divided by 54 inches equals 3.9. 3.93. So what is this 3.93? That is telling you how many joinings you need to put in your fabric. So we now need, so what we do here as well is, because that is an odd number, we now cross that figure out and we round it up to equal 4. So now that gives us 4 joinings, which we call that 4 drops. And that means at the side of the curtains, we're going to have 2 joinings of curtains going this side. That's 1, 2 joining. And we're going to have 2 joinings going this side of the curtain. Alright, so that gives us our quantity. So when we stitch. So now that we've worked that out, we've just dealt with this section here, which is the width. Now we're going to work out the drop. 90 inches times by 4 equals 360 inches. So we can't go and buy 360 inches. But what I haven't done here is, that's all it is. So what I need to know now is my seam allowance for the hem and my seam allowance for the top of the curtain. So we've got to allow for it. We've got to buy fabric for that. We can't just buy it for 90 inches drop. So let's start again. So that's that. So we're going to say 90 inches add, I like to put 6 inches down the bottom. So it's 90 add 6 inches. I like to have 1 inch up the top, but today I'm going to put 2 inches up the top, right? Because things don't always go straight, and it's always good to have that extra inch for that mistake, right? So let's add 2. So that's 90 add 6 add, which comes up to 98 inches. So our finished drop of our curtain, our finished drop is now 98 inches. So now what we do now with that 98, we say 98 times 4 drops equals 98 times 4 equals 392. That's 392 inches. But we need to buy our fabric in meters. So what we do now with that is, now we say 392 inches divided by 39, because that 39 inches makes 1 meter equals. So we'll divide that now. Divide it by 39 equals 10.5 meters of fabric. So that's how we work out how much